Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Knack. We've got live tournament action coming at you. It is going to be on MLG's Shattered Temple. Bartar and Kilos going to be battling it out. It is going to be a TvT, red versus yellow. Nice color picks here, by the way. Bartar going to be down here at the 6 o'clock position. He is our red Terran. And in cross positions here on Shattered Temple is Kilos. He's going to be our yellow Terran. We shall see. I wonder if we're going to get into some tank wars here or not, but because this map tends to be a little bit more open, tanks tend to be a little bit less effective. I mean, they kind of need some chokes here and there to be a little bit more effective. Not that there's not a choke here. I mean, if they can make it across this very large, wide open center of a map, then they do have a lot of terrain here to abuse, and tank play can be extremely effective. But dropping is also a great effective measure on this map because the main is so long. It's like really big. You can drop over here. And look at just the distance here between the ramp and the command center here in the main is a big deal. So, yeah, I mean, it's good, especially once they've taken their second. Their army tends to be mostly down here on the low ground, and it does take a little bit of time. They can poke in here, do a little bit of damage, drop, pick up, and fly on off as quickly as possible. Obviously, we've seen a lot of Terran players who, they like to get air superiority, which does make dropping a little bit more difficult to do, so we may see some of those type of things. I'm interested to see how these guys are going to play out their TvTs. Both these guys highly ranked individuals. We do have barracks going down here for Kilos a little bit late, actually. A little bit late. Looks like Bartar is significantly ahead there. He is grabbing a gas as well. Very early gas there for him. Let's see, what was that? 20 seconds ago. Cool, so he did get that down just right around the 2-minute mark, so definitely a good fast one there. Might see either a Hellion play here potentially, or we're going to see some kind of Reaper play. I don't know. We'll see how he's going to go from here. The telltale signs are what he does with his barracks. Right here, right now. He's going to continue his wall off for the time being. Notice no wall off here for Kilos. And he is just on one gas as well, so just the one gas. Not going to be super fast tech out of these guys. And ooh, there goes your second gas for Bartar. Interesting. So going to see some tech out of him here fairly quickly. Could even be a 1-1-1. Notice we do have a factory going down for Kilos. So it could be the same type of deal here. There are a bunch of different 1-1-1 builds these days. I'll tell you, some of them are so varied. You've got one that is that you take a very late second gas. You don't get cloak out. Which I guess that's not necessarily a 1-1-1. Cloak Banshees isn't. It's kind of a different build than a regular 1-1-1. A 1-1-1 tends to get you a lot of tanks there very quickly and a big push off of one base. Cloak Banshee Harass is kind of a different build, so I take that back. But we do have just the one gas for now. He is going to have his starport going down, so it does appear to be some kind of 1-1-1. And it's probably not going to be Cloaked Banshees at this point because he does not have the gas production for it. Back over here at Bartar's side of the map, we do have a factory going down there as well. He does finally have a new wall off going down. He has a supply depot there now. Move that barracks out of the way. And what appears to be a starport from him as well, which is significantly behind what Kilos has got coming out. So Kilos will beat him to the punch. He will have a small timing window that he can take advantage of, getting out that air superiority. We'll see what he's going to do there, but just the one gas for now for Kilos, so he's not going to be able to get tons of tech out. So I don't know. I'm interested to see. Maybe that means he's going to go for Hellion drops. To be honest, I do not exactly know what Kilos is doing here. If somebody has got a good idea, feel free to let me know. I'd be interested to hear what you guys have to say. And we do have a tank coming out here for Bartar, and looks like from his starport, it is going to go to the reactor. Interesting. So air superiority will be on the way here, I assume. Indeed, indeed. He is going to grab Vikings here very quickly. Probably going to see him grab out... that's probably going to be it. Tanks and Vikings, I'm guessing. He's going to go mech play here, it appears. No, he's going to grab some Marines. Okay, I don't know. So it looks like he will mix in. Maybe even see 1 or 2 medevacs come out on the field here if he does get enough Marines out. But he's got a couple already to mix in his army. Back over here on Kilo's side of the map, he is going to have a drop headed his opponent's way. Here comes some Hellions. He is maintaining pretty decent map control, and here comes your Vikings. Guess what they are going to catch off guard? Oh, and Kilos got to drop quick. Only 2 Marines survived that. This is really putting Kilos in a bind very, very quickly. Nice play there from Bartar, getting those early Vikings out. Now he's going to dip back around. He's going to play defensive now. I think he realizes that he is ahead. So command center going down in very good time. We'll take that expansion here pretty quick. And we're going to see him continue to pump out tanks here, I would assume. He does have siege tech now on the way, grabbing a second factory. And he's going to start beefing up his mech play. Look at that. He's going to start scouting with his barracks. I love it when they do that. Scout with the barracks, of all things. And command center going down here for Kilos as well, so he's taking an expand of his own. It's going down in pretty quick time. Notice that he's going to commit a little bit more heavily to infantry here. 2 more barracks going down. He is working on a factory with a tech lab, so probably going to see tanks there from him as well, but accompanied by, it appears to be Marines and Marauders is my guess at this point. He is pumping out a lot of Marines still. I'm assuming we're going to see tech labs on these guys, but he is going to be picking up a couple Vikings here and there. See if he's going to be able to get any damage done with these Hellions, but I don't think so. He's just kind of keeping these guys for map control, I think, more than anything. And it looks like Bartar is going to take this opportunity to move forward. He does have 2 tanks here, 4 Vikings. Actually, a lot of Vikings. This air play, very significant. Will give good vision for these siege tanks, and should be able to get those tanks in decent position, I'd say, from here. He can plant one right here is a great place to put it, and then move the other one forward here while he engages his army, and then take this one and move it up the ramp. Is kind of a slick way to engage the main and kind of skirt this position. You don't really need to take it out if you're going to go for the kill. But we'll see how he's going to play it. So far, he's just got his barracks up here on the high ground in the center of the map, which is kind of comical to me for some reason. It does give him a little bit of scouting intel, though. I like that. And he's got a pretty decent defensive position for the moment, and here comes his orbital command. It looks as though Kilos did beat him to the punch, and let's check out that economy there. Kilos is ahead in the SCV count, but only by 1 there. Bartar won't take too long to catch up, and he is going to have his second orbital command up and running here in just a few moments, so not too far behind there economically. In production, guess what? It is Blue Flame Hellions. This mech play for Bartar is absolutely going to be going down, so he's going to be able to deal with the Marines with his Blue Flame Hellions. Tanks should be able to deal with tanks, assuming that he has good positioning of his Vikings, and that's going to be an interesting battle. Now, Kilos has a lot of Marines, which could be potentially problematic for him, considering the amount of Blue Flame Hellions coming out for Bartar, but assuming good positioning of those Marines and good micro, he could be in just fine shape, especially with good tank positioning as well. So, I mean, this is going to come down to micro at this point, but I do love the army composition here of Bartar. I think that this is a wise play. It's going to be extremely difficult for Kilos to deal with. It's kind of, in a lot of ways, it's a great counter to what Kilos has got going here. And notice that he did not get, or he's still pumping out Marines, I guess is what I want to say. He did get tech labs just for his upgrades here, but he's pumping out Marines as quickly as he can. He's really going mass Marine, which is strange to me. I actually half expected to see a goodly number of Marauders come out. Marauders tend to be extremely effective. Looks like a drop going down here for Kilos. He does have some Hellions cruising in. Going to try and pick off a couple of those workers. Smart play there. Kilos is ahead in the supply count. Units tab now showing that puts Kilos quite a bit ahead in the worker count. 52 to 43. 6 workers killed there for Kilos. This is not bad. So good play. Looks like a third going down here for Kilos. I don't know. This will be interesting. And the upgrades are getting pretty well completed at this point. Stim almost done there, but still just Marines out of Kilos here and tanks. Marines and tanks, Marines and tanks. So he's going to be extremely comfortable with this large army. Bartar's got a little bit smaller of a force, but maybe a little bit more power packed into it. He's going to have a nice position here out in the center of the map, right next to that Zelnaga tower. Going to make it very difficult for Kilos to deal with. And then here we go. Tank wars will begin in the center of the map. Interesting place for tank wars, I'll tell you. It's so wide open here. I mean, even with a couple paving blockers here and there, this is, I mean, look at this space. There's almost no paving blockers here. Flanks are a big problem. You can get basically air superiority is extremely effective, I think, in this scenario. And we have to give air superiority, I think, at this point to Bartar, and that's great for him. I would like to see him start to move forward a little bit with his Vikings, try and gain some vision of what's going on over here, and then carefully and slowly tiptoe these tanks forward. Not too slow, though. You don't want to take all game. Obviously, that would give Kilos plenty of opportunity to prepare himself. But here goes the gold expand for Kilos. He is going to try and secure that one. While we don't really have a third in the works quite yet for Bartar, so that's interesting to me. Looks like we did lose a unit over here, but the gold rocks are going to go down here. And Kilos going to be in nice shape if he does take this gold quickly enough. Notice how many... Wow, look at all these barracks going down for him. Got Marines cruising around here, trying to maintain map control where possible. Here comes your tanks. They're going to try and get into position to move on this. One tank goes down there for Bartar. Two tanks going down for Kilos, so nicely done. And Bartar probably going to move himself forward. He wants to try and keep this gold from going down. And I like that he's got air superiority. He can start to leapfrog these tanks forward. I'd like to see him just move them forward one block at a time. Boom, 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 boom. But moving all at once, I guess, is just fine as well. And Marines cruising into position, but tanks blasting away at this. Bartar, I think, in great shape here in this engagement. He's going to come out ahead on the supply count there after that, so definitely cleaning up a lot of supply there of Kilos. Units lost, however, shows that Kilos is indeed behind there. Air superiority coming in a big way here for Bartar. He's got a nice position. He's going to call down a mule here for a little bit of repair. Smart little deal. And notice that Bartar is securing 2 more bases. He knows that he's going to be able to keep his opponent kind of locked down here on 1 base, maybe 2 bases if his opponent takes this back expansion here. But here comes a big, well, it's not a big push, but a little echelon of Marines are going to cruise forward. They're going to check out this gold. Smart play, but guess what they're going to find? Absolutely nothing, which makes them think, what the heck is going on? They see a lot of tanks. Makes him think, oh my goodness, it's all in. But guess what? That is not the case. Bartar does have 2 bases now up and running over here. Planetary fortresses as well. So this is going to be a nice little play for Bartar. He's going to be way ahead economically. Planetary fortresses will be difficult for Kilos to deal with. And Kilos is actually having trouble holding on to his front door. Notice he has switched into those Marauders for the time being. I think that's a smart play. Getting a bunch of stemmed Marauders is a great way to deal with tanks. They take a lot more damage than the Marines do. Kilos setting himself up here defensively while he is going to get himself ready for a drop of sorts. Where is he headed with these guys? He's going to drop right on top of the tanks. Tank wars. Interesting. Look at that. Killing off a lot of Bartar's tanks. A smart play there. Got to get that air superiority up and running if you are Bartar. Nicely done from Kilos, cleaning up a lot of tanks here. That's going to be frustration point for Bartar. Notice the third has gone down for Kilos yet again. He is taking it up here in this back expansion. He needs to take down these rocks, get a little SCV transfer over there. Currently his main about to be mined out. Not too far off on the second as well, so he's got to be careful here. Check that units tab. Wow, he's at 69 SCV, 79 for Bartar. Bartar's got he's got great economy at this point on those 4 solid bases. He does need to get, I think, maybe a little bit more production out. Looks like he is thinking the same thing. More factories going down for him here. I think a smart play. He needs to be able to remax his army a little bit faster, just in case he does take some serious losses in this forward position, that he will be able to get some defenses up in time so that the counterattack of Kilos won't last for very long. I say, you know what, I think Bartar really is ahead so far in this matchup. Kilos is starting to take the lead, though, in the supply count, and that is a point of concern, I think, for Bartar as he moves forward. The air superiority is exactly what he needs. More Vikings. Got to keep those air units out of his face. And we're going to see him start moving forward here. Looks like he's going to go hit the back door, potentially. That's a smart play. Ooh, I don't know. Nope, he is indeed going to go for this back door. And is Kilos going to respond? Rocks are going to go down. Looks like Bartar is going to get himself in position here. Tank sieging up in great time. Checking his backside there. He needs to get these Vikings over just a little bit further so that he does have vision of this area. There goes your scans. We've got a lot of scanning going down. Bartar relying on those scans, though. He needs to be relying on his Vikings here, I think, to make that happen. But not too bad. Kind of a standoff here in a lot of respects, while he does work on these rocks here very slowly. And up to the high ground he goes. Kilos not quite ready for this one. Is he going to lose this third expansion? He can't really afford to lose this at this point. Tank sieging up. Going to be difficult. But up the ramp he goes. Good stim being utilized here. Taking out a lot of tanks here. Bartar will lose all these tanks, so cleaned up there fairly quickly by Kilos. But somehow Bartar's supply count is still fairly high. Must mean that he's got another tank army. Yes, he does have another tank army at the ready. Interesting. And now going to start moving these guys forward. Looks like Kilo's going to try and take the center of the map as quickly as he can here. I think a smart idea. And here comes Kilos. He does have an opportunity while those tanks are sieging up. He took out like 4 or 5 of those tanks before they finished completing their siege there, and now cleans up all of the tanks. Bartar in a little bit of trouble. Kilos going to move forward here. He's going to go straight for the kill. We got tanks up on the high ground, but they are not going to last very long. Good vision here given by those medevacs, and we're going to see this base go down very, very quickly. A lot of repairs going down. He's trying to buy himself some time. Does he have any units to deal with this? Not really. Like we were saying, man, he just doesn't have the production capability that he really needs at this point. Rock and roll in economy, but no production. Scary, scary deal. Tank's trying to get into position here, but it looks like Kilos is going to take down the win here. Beautifully done. Moving forward, a lot of stim going down, and there's your GG. Thank you guys for coming out. Thank you guys for watching. Don't alt tab, always alt StarCraft. We'll see you guys in our next game.